Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another game of the Rose Cup. We're here in the Diamond Division playoffs. I have First Nine Knee helping on production. I'm Heathen, and joining me tonight is Platinum Thistle on color.
Hello, everybody. I am also here.
So we are going into the Diamond Division playoffs right now. And we just got done with the play-in matches, and we're coming up on Lunar Eclipse versus Tokyo Calcifer. They were in different divisions, but Lunar Eclipse was the top of their division, going 11-1 throughout the season, while Tokyo Calcifers were fifth in their division, going a 7-4 scoreline, which is why they had to play in on the play-in game. We're going to have an interesting match tonight. I believe you have the map pool up on the screen, and we should be opening on Lijiang Tower last time I checked, unless there was a big change. And this is always, I love opening up on King of the Hill. It's something we talk about a lot, that we have the map type first, King of the Hill, that allows for the most variation comp, because we do see the three compositions.
Yeah.
But what do you think? Do we know of any off-meta compositions that these teams are looking to run? Does anybody have information on either team running something other than just the Orisa Sigma comp that's been really dominant on this patch?
What? No, they're not running Goat's Knee. Really, what I'm looking at is Lunar Eclipse has a tank line that's extremely comfortable on the current meta picks. They're extremely comfortable on Orisa and on Roadhog and on Sigma, and that's going to be something that you're always going to be looking for, is because it's one thing to play the meta, it's another thing to be comfortable on the meta. So Lunar Eclipse quite comfortable on the meta here. But then if you look over at Tokyo Califers, you're not looking at a tank line that's extremely comfortable with the meta. Gumby plays DPS most of the time, and in his spare time, and he's in a tank position. The most time he has on is Reinhardt. He's going to be looking to play heroes that he can play well, and if he doesn't, then they might be in trouble.
Yeah, it is kind of interesting that he plays mostly DPS and Q, but they have him in the spot for the tank right now. I don't know. We're going to have to see how that unfolds, but it looks like both teams are ready up. So we're going to be queuing up the match of Lijiang Tower. First map is going to be Night Market.
Absolutely. So this is the kind of map where you will see some stuff. This and then the tower one. I can't remember what the tower one is called. Oh, pause. There's a swap needs to come through.
Yes. It looks like Real Link was supposed to be the tank for this. Gumby might actually end up being the DPS then.
Yep, Gumby is DPS. Yeah. That makes a lot more sense.
Okay, cool. So nothing confusing anymore. Everything makes sense once again.
Yeah,
Night Market.
Relink does a lot of work on Orisa. Obviously, most of the time it's been gathered this season, but there's a lot of time on main tank, so he's very comfortable with that role, and that's obviously something we're going to be expecting when we're moving into Diamond Masters level gameplay. When everyone's getting their role on their team, you're going to want to be seeing someone who's extremely comfortable with where they're put.
Yeah, a lot of players starting to specialize just around that SR, you mean, or?
Yeah, I would definitely say that people need to start to get specialized here in this kind of meta. Especially if you're going to be playing with a team, if you're going to be playing with a stack, it's going to be way more efficient to have someone be a main tank player versus just a tank player in general. Of course, when you're on ladder, you're always going to want to be switching up, because sometimes you want to play that Zarya, even though you're playing Reinhardt all day. You want to give that Zarya a go. But when it comes down to stuff like this, you want to have people that are comfortable in their position, because even though they're both tanks, they have very, very different roles. Like the main tank has everything on their shoulders, and the second tank is usually literally just to make the main tank's job easier. It's to give them a massage while they carry a load. Like, So you need to be able to be very comfortable on the specific role, main or off tank, not just tank in general.
So it looks like Tokyo Califers opening up with the Sim teleport and are immediately swapping over to the Reaper and other. Well, we see Lunar right now on the pharmacy. This does a lot of damage. They're in a buff. They're set up on point right now.
Absolutely.
And it looks like Sigma's trying to move in just a little bit. The punch connects on the Lucio. That's going to be a big pick. Tokyo Califers down one of the more important characters, and it looks like Doomfist is making it out just fine with his life. The enemy Doomfist trying to come in, but Gumby isn't going to find the same result. But on the meantime, it looks like Sigma's cleaning up. And that's going to be the point going the way of Tokyo, even though they did lose the first in that fight.
Absolutely. Doomfist going in there to gather some ult, but ends up dying. I wonder if there was some kind of miscommunication there. Entropy already has a barrage, so that's definitely something to be looking for. Like, Tokyo won the fight, but...
A beautiful stun.
Wow.
Knocking Mercy out of the sky.
That was very far away. Both teams have a solid amount of ultimates ready, but of course Lunar Eclipse having to wait another 10 seconds for Fish to respawn so they can come around the side. Entropy is going to probably be looking for solid barrage because they won't be expecting it yet if I were them.
And it looks like both teams matching up with the choke. The barrage comes out and it breaks through shield, and it looks like Gumby has fallen in the meantime. Fight's breaking out on point. Coalescence is being committed by the side of Lunar, and it looks like Tokyo's in a bit of a pickle at the moment. Entropy pretty deep in, though, at low health, needs to be careful, might just lose his life, but makes it out just barely in the nick of time, and it looks like the tanks are fortified once again. The healer's still here, and Gumby has returned. The punch does connect, and it looks like Tokyo Califers are up in this fight. Valk is going to be committed by Lunar, but it might be a little too late. They're going for the Resurrect and is successful, meaning that they are once again at full strength, and both teams are committing the Flux. It looks like the beat is only coming out from one side, however, and that's going to be the end of Lunar Eclipse here. They should be forced off the point at this point, and it is 80% capped already. 80%
capped, so they will be definitely hard approaching that last fight territory. They're meeting it now. But another Entropy, another barrage ready to open up this fight, so... I'm getting that really fast. At this point, I've noticed getting barrages very, very quickly. They're going to need to touch here. Doomfist ult should be able to do that if they have to, but it looks like they'll be able to make it. Yeah, touching on point, but Mixed Stick is giving up a lot of HP. Nano Boost Me is out, and so is Lyrica. It looks like Lunar in a pretty solid spot right now, and they commit the Rock Barrage, taking up 4. 2 are left, 1 is left, and it's just going to be Bob running away. That's going to be the point capping over at 99%. See, that's everything they had except Coalescence. I don't think they needed Entropy's Barrage at the very end there. They were up a lot of picks, and sure, it was nice to close it out, but you didn't need it to be a quick swap like that because they were already at 99. There's nothing to gain by stalling that out. And it looks like a little bit of brawl at the top. Nano Boost Me is going to fall. That's going to be another reset. Looks like we have another 10, 15 seconds before Tokyo can get back into this fight. Definitely, and Nano Boost Me has swapped off the Reaper after using the Death Blossom to the McCree to try and counter this Pharah Mercy combination because, like we've been seeing, it's been getting a lot of value, especially in the Barrage. Yep, team going in, and it looks like the Doomfist in the back line trying to find something, but isn't going to get anything. Valk is popped by Lunar, meaning that they have a little bit more sustainability and a little bit more damage, but both Doomfists are going to fall. It's still an even fight, but Mercy might be looking for that Resurrect. I see her looking for right now, but she isn't going to need it. Albert has fallen. The main tank on the side of Tokyo is gone, and it looks like this is going to be a pretty easy cleanup for the side of Lunar. Definitely. That was very well played. You could see the Mercy very carefully considering whether or not to go for the res, and that's really where you see the line between gold plat to diamond masters. The lesser Mercy would have 100% gone for that res, and the restraint and keeping faith in Shifty is exactly what won them that fight. Coalescence being popped. Drag Rush comes out as a counter, and that's just going to be the fight over right there. 80%. They're going to need to get back to the point pretty quickly to get another fight in. Both tank ults and Coalescence online for Lunar Eclipse. Tokyo, however, is going to be working with something very similar. 1 support ult and a tank ult, maybe 2. Yeah, but the Flux is going to make it challenging to get on the point. There's only 6% to make it there. Coalescence comes out, loses his life. The Flux is going to come in, and there's no beat to counter this, but they are set up on point, but it's only the 2 members left, and it looks like the first map is going the way of Lunar. That was a beautiful flip, just excellently done, all the way up to 99 and then swapped over to the 100. There was really nothing no major mistakes that stood out to me with Tokyo. Just Lunar Eclipse really got their act together. They warmed up, they knew where they were going, and the Pharmacy was really what I think won it for them, but it was definitely more um it's definitely more outplay on the Pharmacy than it was mistakes from Tokyo.
Yeah, we appear to be having a little bit of a difficulty. But yeah, entropy on the Pharaoh made some big plays, and we saw young Vegeta getting a pick onto the McCree in the fight right after they capped, which was one of the more important moments, I think, because that was the fight where they had been down in their ultimate economy and were at risk of losing, and setting back the opponent another 10 seconds gave them a lot more time to passively build up a little bit of their ultimate to get ready for the next engagement. I'm not entirely certain what's happened. Looks like that the lobby was just reset over a misclick.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but the score will not be reset. If Lunar Eclipse wins this, then
Yeah.
we will have them win the first map. Tokyo Califers has to win 2 in a row in order to be able to take this.
It's really fortunate that it was King of the Hill that it got reset on, because any other game mode and we'd have like a time bank or a distance to worry about, and we'd
Oh,
have
for
to
sure, for
start
sure.
getting
I
really tricky.
in my very early days of casting, that happened once, and it was on King's Row.
Hmm.
And to give both teams credit, they recreated it to the second.
How do you go about doing that?
They
I'm
all
really
got
curious.
in a Discord call together with the casters and the ref,
Hmm.
and they had everyone write down, or they had the producer write down all of the times so that it wouldn't be lost. They went to the stream and looked at the times because, of course, there was a delay. Um,
Hmm.
and they pretty much had both teams steamroll. Um, and they had both teams steamroll up to a certain point. It was almost done the map. It was the second attack. Like Team A had already taken all 3 points, and Team B was just about to take two, and it was the
Hmm.
middle of the game. And what they had Team A steamroll, and then everyone would sit on the cart. Both teams sat on the cart for like 5 minutes to let the time bank go down until the actual time bank landed and everyone got off.
Mm.
Um, and then they did something very similar um, with Team B, where they let them get exactly to the point where it was. It wasn't down to the meter, I don't believe, but it was very close. And it was very well done by both sides. Just excellent sportsmanship.
So it looks like we're gonna take a little bit longer.
We have to get the correct map. We have to get it back to Control Center because it
Yeah.
does have to go exactly the way it was before. And unfortunately, if Tokyo were
There
to
we
there
are.
we go. If Tokyo were to win this map and then we were to get Night Market again, we would have to reset again.
Yeah. And just keep going until we get um forgetting the name of the map. I'm spacing out. Control Center, Night Market, Garden. We'd have to keep restarting until we
Legion
get Garden.
Garden.
Garden's
That's
the
what
other
it
one
is.
in the pool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
But we're on Control
yeah.
Center. This is the map where we are most likely, in my opinion, to see Reinhardt. And I know you were talking earlier about some of the tanks being not Orisa Sigma players distinctly.
Yes, Lunar Eclipse has a very comfortable Reinhardt player, and it will not surprise me if they. There we go.
How both
Both
teams?
both teams are going to be running mirror comps to the player. It looks like. Wow, that is
This will be fun.
uncanny. That's a little weird. I've seen mirror comps before, but I've never seen every single person in the other person's spot. If you know what I mean.
So what's going to be important in this specific mirror comp on the map then?
Oh, it is absolutely going to be. I guarantee you, the first thing that will decide this is which Reinhardt lands a bigger fire strike. when they first meet each other. That will determine control after the maybe 20%. If it goes fast. If it doesn't go fast, it's going to be down to the Zarya.
And it looks like McStick coming ahead in ult charge a little bit. Both teams lose their Mei early on. McStick using the charge is going to take out Relink as well. And it looks like Lunar are ahead in this fight at the moment. They're trying to burn down the enemy Reinhardt, and they're going to be successful. It's 3 members left from Tokyo, and they're just going to burn out. Clock's going to tick down. The point's going to flip over.
A lot can be gathered from the ultimate charge after the first fight. For example, what you can read from Lunar Eclipse is that they had a lot more healing pumped into them by Horror, and McStick was very much the frontliner getting into a clump team. Maywall, here comes the shatter.
Connects with 1. He's doing some damage. It looks like they're going to clean up both Reinhardts on both sides, and Lunar Eclipse pulling just a Mei ahead at the moment. A little bit of a poke going on. Both teams trying to out-sustain each other, moving safely, and Lunar Eclipse is going to find the Reaper caught out by the Mei wall, take him out of the fight, and that should be a cleanup from this point. But Tokyo are getting fancy. They are on the high ground, trying to see if they can sustain a little bit longer. They're making their way to point, but Zarya is going to get frozen out and just going to be Lucio surviving from this, and he honestly just needs to go back and regroup with his team at this point, and looks like he's figured that out.
Yeah, he's going back to get with his team. He does manage to survive it, which I didn't think he was going to do. He abandoned the Zarya and legged it.
They're squaring up. Maywall comes up, both sides. Reinhardt caught a little bit out, but the Reaper ult in the backline is going to be what makes this fight. Entropy trying to respond with his ult, but it's not going to be enough. The Rein shield is going to be good, and it looks like Tokyo are pulling ahead. They should be able to cap the point now. Yeah, that's going to be everybody wiped. The team kill bell does ring.
I will say one thing that is impressing me currently is that McStick is keeping on par with Albrecht's Earth Shatter. And tell me if I'm wrong, but I believe Albrecht has not used Shatter yet.
No, he hasn't, but he's getting close. Both Maywalls used. Graviton comes out. Albrecht built Shatter, but is caught in the freeze. He's frozen, and it looks like that's going to be the end of it. No opportunity to use the ultimate. The point should be flipping over once again, and it's a bit of a dangerous situation right now for Tokyo as we're getting into the 70s percentage.
Yeah, what we're really looking for is the 85% mark. That's when it becomes absolutely lethal. And that was excellent. One thing that is going to be annoying to anyone who plays a game is a Mei ult into a Graviton Surge. You can't do anything.
Out both sides. And it looks like the Shatter is canceled by the freeze, but the other Shatter is going to be good, and it looks like both Reinhardts have fallen, but Lunar are taking a very distinct lead. Graviton Surge is used as a last moment of desperation, knowing that they don't have time to come back from this, but nobody is going to survive this onslaught. Nano Boost be the last one to fall. Reinhardt charging in, trying to find something, but he's going to lose his health bar. He's falling low. He's no way he's making it to point, and that's going to be it. That is map.
Absolutely beautiful performance there from Lunar Eclipse. And that's precisely what they were looking to repeat there. You could tell that McStick was extremely comfortable on that Reinhardt. Make sure someone tells them that we're done.
Yeah. And you're talking about the Reinhardt?
Yeah, McStick very comfortable on Reinhardt, and it shows very, 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 very clearly. Very aggressive, threw in as much as possible, and I just couldn't see that as much from Albrecht. The ult charge was remaining pretty consistently similar, and he was outclassed by McStick. That's all I'm gonna try and say. The Reinhardt game is certainly McStick's to keep with him, and it's going to be really difficult or if they were to come out with a Rein Zarya mirror again, for Tokyo Califers to own it.
Yeah, it looked like Tokyo Calcifiers had a lot better chances of winning on the Sigma Orisa composition, and with the next map being the choice between Hanamura or Temple of Anubis. It looks like they're going for Temple of Anubis. Temple of Anubis being the map that I think it's more common to run the Orisa Sigma Reaper Doomfist meta composition, just because of how often you see the Bastion comp up here on Hanamura.
Yeah. Honestly, you could make the Bastion, or the not the Bastion necessarily, but the Orisa Sigma composition work on either map if you
Yeah.
wanted to. But I will 100% agree that Temple of Anubis is much stronger, especially since you quite frequently will see the normal Orisa and Sigma, but you'll throw in a Baptiste for the sustain, and then the Bastion, obviously. And then sometimes they'll have a Moira, but more often than not, there will be a Mercy to damage boost either a Junkrat or a Pharah. But if I were to take a guess at Lunar Eclipse, I would maybe say that they would go for a Mei instead, which is also common but doesn't require a Mercy. So it's going to
So
be
you
interesting to see what they run.
So you can sit on the May, Moira, Mercy, Sigma, Orisa is the prediction here.
Now
For the Reaper?
I'm going to predict for first point defense, Lunar Eclipse is going to go Bastion, Sigma, Orisa, Baptiste, Moira, and Mei. That's what I think.
Yeah. That is a strong composition that we've seen a lot on Temple of Anubis, and the counter meta that's developed against it has kind of been the Sim Teleporter.
Yeah, Sim
And it's
TP.
not a terrible map to do the Sim TP because I think you can bypass the majority of the first choke point and run straight to point if you place it right. Looks like the teams are R.
You want to
Yeah.
get a Lucio and speed boost yourselves into the directly right-hand room, and from there you can get a direct Sim TP to point.
And it's really challenged. It kind of makes it challenging at that point to be the Bastion comp, just because then you got to rotate and the enemy team's going to cap point, and it's going to change how you have to play the following fights. If you lose 2 of your ticks, you're going to have to move yourself closer to point. Make that conscious change in the play.
At that point, the win condition changes at that point because it's no longer a guess of who's going to win, who's going to outdamage the other people. It's going to become a question of, can the Bastion composition mow down the attackers before they can get any permanent progress? Because if they don't, then they're going to have to shed at least one person to go and touch, and that's when it starts to fall apart.
The comp was close. It looks like we're on the Ashe Mercy instead of the Bastion and Baptiste, though, for the defense, which is another comp that I like. If you damage boost the Ashe, she can sit on the high ground, be effectively a Widowmaker. And she's got the Bob, which can stall point, contest. It makes it so that your tanks don't have to rotate as often to address the enemies if they are moving on a fast comp. I like it.
That is extremely interesting. And another thing to consider is if Ashe were to be able to land a really good dynamite while being damage boosted, that will get you a lot of ult charge. I could see that getting you a good 25% of your ult. And with Ashe, that's a slow ult.
Meanwhile, we see Tokyo Calcifer. They're walking out of spawn on the meta composition, heading up to the right side on Temple of Anubis right now, which is a little bit interesting. They could be trying to go for the high ground, and it looks like that's the direction they're trying to commit. Maywall comes up, separates off the team, but it doesn't look lethal at the moment. Damage being pumped in, nobody really low, and they are making their way to high ground. Tokyo's going to control that, get hit by a rock, but it looks like they're going to be fine. Meanwhile, Ashe making a little bit of rotation towards the right-hand side, moving off of her high ground, chucks in a dynamite, it connects with 2. Gonna build up the ultimate charge a little bit, and tanks are falling to point. The brawl is gonna begin here. The Maywall on the high ground, and Doomfist is committing the backline, but he's forced out very quickly. Orisa no longer has a shield, and it's Sigma shield versus Sigma shield. Cooldowns are coming up, but Reaper just uses Wraith form, and it did not get a whole lot of value. The dynamite taking it out, Brett, means that Tokyo is in a dire situation, but they get mixed stick as well. They're actually in an even spot at this point. They could stabilize this, but Bob has been thrown on the point. They built up that ult charge with the dynamite, and the Resurrect comes out, and that should be the last bit of damage needed to put Tokyo back on resetting.
Absolutely. That was a very, very, very fast Bob. First push, 60 seconds in. So that'll just show you how much a Mercy damage boost will do for you as an Ashe player. And that's why they're using it. That's why it's so powerful. And they will have Coalescence moving in here with probably a good combination.
Ooh. That makes it challenging to move forward. That makes it impossible to move forward. They don't have the speed boost. They don't have the... And it looks like Lunar knows this. They are pushing up. They're going to take out the Reaper. They're pushing up on the... Nope, I'm sorry. They're falling back to their high ground. They're just going to reset off of that.
Yeah. No, they know the Doomfist is still up there, so they're gonna go for it.
Ah, beautiful
Excellent
stagger.
stagger. That was exactly what they wanted. Buy them another 15 seconds. 2 minutes, so halfway down our time bank, and Nano Boost Me has switched to the Widowmaker instead of the Reaper now.
Character that can go toe-to-toe with Ash, set up on the high ground, looking for something, and it looks like Blizzard's going to be eaten by Sigma. That's a big play. It gives them the opportunity to move forward, but Flux is coming out. They have the beat to counter, and they're committing it. Valk is popped, so neither side is really low, and McStick on the low ground pops the Bunga. That's got to be an opportunity for Tokyo to move forward, and they do just far enough to take out the Supercharger. They're moving a point now. Both teams on the low ground, and it looks like the Coalescence is now on the other foot, and Lunar fall ahead now. Both tanks taken out of the fight, and that should be the end of things. Entropy is going to be taken out, but it should be an easy res. The permanent damage is going to come with Mei being taken out of the fight. They might not be giving this up. Tokyo, nope. It looks like they are going to fall back, do a quick reset, and then push in while the Mei's respawning.
Absolutely. If they can get this quick, they can get back before the Mei has a chance to set up, and that's exactly what they're going to do. Push in now.
Pushing in. Sigma shield is up. Marissa shield as well. Marissa is fortified. The Flux comes out, it just catches Sigma, but that appears to be all it needs. They've committed Meteor Strike on the high ground. It's going to take out Mercy as well, and that should be the end of this defense. The 7th man has joined the fight, however, to try and turn things back, and does get a pick. Both mortars have fallen. It's still very much so in Tokyo's favor, but there's a fighting chance. McStick falling makes it bleak, though. Mei's running to point, and Entropy's going to fall, and that's going to be the end of things here.
Excellent and very valiant stall with a 30-second time bank. Gonna give them probably about 3 minutes and 10 seconds, 15 seconds. And Albrecht has the ultimate, so it's going to be pretty difficult for Lunar Eclipse to be able to contest with this coming through, because they have a lot of ultimates to work with, and on top of that, they know the exact positioning from that Widowmaker sites.
Yep, and they're using that to go in on a point. They've committed both shields, and Maybell's going to come up, but they're not really able to move in. Young Vegeta has gotten on top of these tanks, though, and it has frozen Sigma, trying to put in some damage. He falls low, and it's going to be Lucio that falls first, but both tanks are going to be soon to follow, and that's going to be the end of this attack. Doofus is in the back line, going to get 1. 2 picks are going to fall, but it's not really going to matter at the end of the day.
That is a really good... That's really a very good push for Tokyo if you're looking at it, because you've committed out now you've committed out now the Coalescence, which you traded for a bit of time, and the Widow sites, which is a perfectly fine trade. Entropy now switching off to the Tracer, it's a big deal, and we now have Lucio instead of the Mercy.
Yep, looks like the tanks are doing the same thing. They dropped the Supercharger, but the Blizzard is used in response. It's going to be difficult to hold on to the Supercharger at this point, as Sigma does get frozen up. They do have a pick, and it looks like Nano Boost been getting 2 picks so far. Flux comes out. It does a bit of damage, but Albert is going to be fine, and he's the main focus of the damage at the moment. And it looks like Tokyo are in a pretty good spot. They're trying really hard, and it looks like they're going to do it. That should be just about everybody. Mei's running onto the point. She's going to freeze herself up. She's buying time. Hammond is also going to make it on the way. And he is on point. They're trying to...
he's eaten alive!
They don't have the bodies at the moment. Doomfist going for the backline, trying to find a pick, and Flux is going to come out. Not going to quite connect with him, but he is going to pick out his teammate. And it looks like they don't have enough at the moment. They're coming close, though. It's 3 versus 3, and if they survive a little bit longer, Lunar Eclipse might get a 4th, and it's not going to matter. Lucio's taken out of the fight. McStick taken out with Horror, and it looks like Tokyo aren't quite ready to give this up. They're coming in this fight once again. More people on point, but Gumbus is going to fall, and so is Albert, and that should be the final eventual end of this push. 50 seconds remain, 2 ticks taken.
85%. That Tokyo was hungry, but not hungry enough. The hamster was too much for them. Shifty Fish coming in on that Hammond. Really excellent stall, and looks like they're going to stick with it.
Yeah, 77% to Minefield, and we're going into the last fight. That might be a pretty impactful ult, and we're seeing some changes right now, actually. Nano Boost be swapping over to the Reaper.
Hanzo from Young Vegeta. That's pretty good spam damage there, and Dragon can be built up very quickly and can win them the fight here if they have complete point control with Dragon and Mines.
And it looks like Rupert going to be taken out pretty quickly by Entropy's punch, but Gambit going into the backline trying to find something. Minefields are dropped and a whole bunch of deaths are coming through. And it looks like that's going to be the end. Lucio going for the touch, but Doomfist is going to be the follow-up, and he's the last min alive. That's going to be it. 85% is as far as they're going to get.
That was excellently done. Between the stall from Shifty on the Hammond to just the pure heart of Lunar to hang on, 85%, almost there. That's got to be a blow right there to Tokyo Califers.
Yeah, and they're gonna have to shift gears because now they're on defense and they really could use a hold on this map. They're down 1-0 right now. I believe this is best of 5. Correct me if I'm wrong.
It's first to 3.
First to 3. My words are incorrect sometimes, but first to 3. So they really could use a win on this map because if they go 2-0 into the third map, that's not going to be an easy place to recover from.
Absolutely. Especially because when you go into the halftime and you're losing, or not doing as well as you want, already so much stress. And then if you want to add on your 2 maps down, that's another bit of stress. They're in playoff contentions, and this will eliminate them if they lose. That's even more stress. And then since it's best of 3, or first to 3, not best of 3. Since it's first to 3, they only have 1 map they only have 1 map left. If they were to lose or make a mistake, then they're done. They would have to win 3 in a row. They're facing super long odds. So just for the mentality of them, that's exactly what's going to be going through their minds if they were to lose this. And it's hard to play Overwatch well if you're not in a good place mentally.
And it looks like Lunar going to come out of the spawn room on the Rhine Zarya with a Doomfist Widow, so there is going to be a Doom and Widow on both teams. And we see Nano Boost Me set up on the far high ground, kind of behind a shield, but the jump shot's coming in, and it looks like he's going to find it. Entropy taking a bit of damage as Lunar moves through the choke. They're heading up to the high ground at the moment, but they haven't quite peaked yet. I believe they're waiting for Entropy to get in position, but they've decided that time is now, and they find a pick. Bob the Dud taking out the fight immediately, and 3 have fallen already. 4 are down. Lunar are just going to steamroll their way onto the point, and that's going to be the end of first objective.
I'm a major fan of Rhine Zarya, and this meta's been quite cruel to me. So I always adore to see a Rhine Zarya beat a double shield, especially when it's out of pure skill and not luck. That was excellent. They found the picks. They found what they wanted. They have over 6 minutes left in the time bank to capture 85% of second point.
And it looks like they're looking to go down main. They lose a bit of the shield, and they are going to the left, actually. I was incorrect. We're just set aging main. They're on the left side now. Meanwhile, both DPS are on a bit of a flank. Nano Boost Me trying to hold down the sight line against Entropy is doing a fair job at the moment, but meanwhile, Lunar Eclipse have pushed up. They're going in, and Doomfist is looking for a punch on both sides now. Neither of them have found a pick quite yet, but we see Gumbo is going to make its way back into spawn to get the healing there. Meanwhile, we see the Widow continuing as the Rhine moves forward, trying to get on top of these things. Their shatter is huge. Connects with 4, takes out 4, and that's going to be the end of that. Is there anybody left to make it to the point? There's Widowmaker, but she falls really late. There's no time. Bob the Dud can't make it back. That is map 2-0, Lunar Eclipse in the lead.
That was a beautiful shatter there at the end. I had just switched to his point of view, and I'm very glad I did. We will be seeing it again from his point of view if you were not there already. Going in for the Fire Strike gets him enough. Shield's not there, and there you go. Solid, absolutely solid.
Ooh, I was incorrect. It connected with 5. I didn't think it was connecting with the Lucio on the wall, but I realize now that I just missed that it pop up in kill feed.
Well, we will be going into our 5-minute halftime with with Tokyo Califers down 2-0.
And that's
Well, how
but
about
most of the
that?
time they're all just square.
Oh!
Oh, Krev getting that early
around, but can they teleport in? That's the main question. Can they teleport in safely? Anything happening? It looks like they want to teleport up to the far high ground here. They actually, that was such a smart play. They used the wall to get on. It was in main, and now they're just on the point. They are walled up though, so Storm Creator is already down. One of the longer ones that I've seen ever. It just keeps on going with all these sustainable heroes. No clutch death loss this time for Blue though. The freeze is there on Paragon, but no one to kill him. Storm Creator and Sereniac are on the side, but they can't really get any kills out of this. It looks like the self-destruct may be able to get someone. Does get Aerosmith, but and Sereniac gets back into the well. Nexus actually falling in this time. No more Reaper. They're losing the DPS. Paragon is trying to swing around here, but Sereniac just pumps in the damage with those Diva shotguns. Osprey trying to get another boop in, but it's going to be Blue actually getting Paragon from the other angle. Blue teleporting forward, goes for a will. Can they actually get it back? It's insane. This fight is going on forever, and they catch it back. The volcanic violence.
Engage, but this is not what you want when you're going against double barrier and a huge ultimate gravitic flux from Prince Cats. He gets 3 of them with the help of his team. Awesome play there. To the rock accretion, kind of just taking a little bit damage down, and of course the first kill going to be coming over to Very Cool, who was playing on the Hanzo, so unfortunately he's not going to be able to get any picks here. Voltage doing a good work here of cleaning up the kills as this power of the Mei here, walling off connection lost, preventing them from getting onto the team. Nyquist tries to come in, gets counterpunched by No Karen. In fact, she just says no right back, and you see, damn it, Karen, wall going up, charge coming in from Despair. The power really of the combination with the Mei, and that's going to be a push to choke to hold them here.
That's really where they do well, even throwing Meteor Strike out with the Shatter. Nice combo.
if Loco can get it off early. That's gonna be the biggest thing if they see that Nano Blade coming. And it looks like here it comes. Speed drop's gonna come. Oh no! The Gravitic Flux and the Blizzard come in. Ursa able to get the double with RDK popping the Blossom.
Defense nowhere close to the defensive ultimate, so they're gonna be on a little bit of pressure if that Nano Blades hits right now, and it does look like it's gonna come out. Oh, it's only the Blade. The Meteor Strike gets 3% Widowmane. This is a disaster. The Blade came out and the Nano wasn't even used with it because Rifticle was under too much pressure. So that means the Blade will get 1, maybe 2 kills, then rush in when you see an opportunity. And they're taking it a little bit slower now, so it might be good taking that device straight away. But the Barrage!
The Rock ends up taking out the Barrage. What? That's incredible right there. Like, it's...
And we'll see that there with the Coalescence being used to try and hold it, but it's not going to work. Yes, the Bongo will take down the Fist will take down the Bongo, which is nice to see, but Maddie surprisingly going huge here, getting the kills, which is the power of Doomfist.
Idea on that one, Vaporous able to follow up there onto Lord Yukon. It's a 5v6 bag, as again, Voltage obviously, as we saw in chat, has some wings right there, getting to the high ground, melting anyone that didn't realize that they used tank mode to get up onto that high ground. We're going to see Lord Yukon, the only one left to try to hold on to the objective, get melted by Voltage. We see the
Amping on the Desi, so it's still going to be that 5 in. The Brez comes on to Bastion, so all was for naught in the end. Bab goes down. Immortality Field was dropped on the card, but it was shredded by the Bastion. Hammond just trying to install lines, but it's getting Sigma 9! That's so unfortunate.
Finds the Volta and Portal with a charge kill on Define. That's 2 quick kills, 3. This Reaper will fall. Pilot will fall as soon as they get out of this Wraith form, unless they get out with the TP. Looks like they're just going to try to stall out points as much as they can, but a quick swap at around 20% is going to come through for the Smilers.
Comes back with a res, and now the Window of Pain coming down for XC. I don't think we're going to see Phantom use this barrage. Maybe he's going to drop down and use it on the tanks. He's trying to turn it around for his team, and he's able to pick off 2 with that? How does that happen?
Fight on the objective as we see the tackle come in from Captain. Ends up getting taken down by Starlock. Oh my goodness! Phantom with the triple kill starting off already, and they haven't even grabbed the objective yet. MacGyver finding themselves on the outside of the objective.
We may see a full hold on point A from them. Window of Pain gonna go down in an interesting position, but there's the barrier to protect all projectiles from coming in. It's gonna be the Immortality Biscuit to try to keep Scion alive, Silco, but he is in danger right now because the rest of his team is slowly falling and he's unable to protect them. Very cool, the only one left alive.
Regroup, get some health back, and he still is just getting picked. It's an insane DPS power.
uncontested second point capture. Blue goes down, the Shatter falls from Paragon, the Blizzard to follow it up. I don't think anyone's getting out alive over here. What a beautiful follow-up, and they have the ultimate, so why not use them? Pacifist last to fall.
Looking for it, and it's going to be really difficult for anybody to catch him out. Wait, can the Lucio see him? The Lucio sees him. The
Lucio
call's
sees
been
him.
made.
He's stuck in there. The nano charge. Oh, takes down the Reinhardt. Ranter with the nano boost on the Fortle. Oh, but Fortle with the double fire strike off the nano boost.
Gets revenge on Joe Biden, takes him down. The immortality field for Jacques does not last any longer. And Wooby, huge barrage, takes down 3. And we make it the 4th. There goes the 4th, and it's
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Rose Cup Diamond Division quarterfinals isn't. Best of 16. We're not at quarterfinals yet. Match between Lunar Eclipse and Tokyo Califers. If you haven't been with us up until this point, Lunar Eclipse have taken a 2-0 lead in an absolutely dominant fashion so far, going only the first 2 maps on King of the Hill and having an absolute smash of a roll through Temple of Anubis, I think completing the map within 2-3 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. And we're coming into King's Row now, where Tokyo Calcifiers need to pull off a full reverse sweep in order to keep themselves alive in the Diamond Division playoffs.
They need to win the next 3 maps in a row. There got to been some insane coaching in that halftime in order for them to be able to do at least a little bit better in this matchup, because at this point you're seeing Lunar Eclipse not only dominate, but you're seeing them dominate on Rein Zarya against a team that's running pure meta. And oftentimes, especially at lower ranks, I've said it before, you don't need to worry about meta, you don't need to worry about that kind of stuff, you just need to worry on your own individual skill, because that can carry you. But when you get to this kind of rank, when you're at Diamond Masters, Grandmasters, top 500 level, you need to be good at meta. Meta matters a lot, because it's meta for a reason. It works, and the reason it doesn't work at lower ranks is because they don't punish mistakes. There's stuff that they don't know as well in order to be able to punish the enemy team for not running meta. And I'm not seeing that from Tokyo right now. I'm seeing Lunar Eclipse being able to run what they're comfortable on, being super good at it, and Tokyo just letting them do it.
We seem to swap which team was running the Rein Zarya, though. Lunar opening up with the Double Shield this time, and we see Alret on the Reinhardt on the side of Tokyo, which is a little bit interesting, but it is King's Row, which is definitely the map for this composition.
Oh, absolutely. This is one of the maps where you can see a different composition for attack and defense. Like, it could be completely different just because of the way the map works.
And they come out of the gate. Entropy missed the dynamite, so Tokyo are going to move to the choke without being harmed. Wrapping around the statue, looks, while Doomfist is going to fall, actually trying to go on the flank. That's not going to put them in a good spot. Maywall comes in. Reinhardt separated from his team and taking a bit of damage, but he's going to survive. But they're running low on resources at the moment. They're going to lose Zarya, one of the main resources for keeping them alive in this comp, and that's going to be it. Lunar Eclipse are going to send them back to the drawing board once again.
A significant Maywall leading stagger of Lyrica Reed, which is pretty unfortunate. They're going to have to wait for the Mario to respawn in order for them to be able to push. And Relink, because of the early death, the charge reset and ultimate progress is pretty low, and that's going to be a heavy blow. If there's one person you don't want to lose, it's early.
Reinhardt gets walled off again on his move forward, but he's going to land the charge onto Sigma. Sigma's falling low, but Reinhardt's going to be frozen. He's going to be killed. Suddenly, Tokyo are down 2 people. Mercy's pulling out the pistol, trying to battle with the Reaper, and Reaper's going to turn onto her, but is going to lose his life in the process, not able to get the damage done. And it looks like Moira isn't going to make it out, but meanwhile, Relink is going to walk away with his charge, and he is at 74 charge. This is pretty valuable.
Absolutely. Relink getting out was huge for Tokyo. But one thing they need to deal with is this pincer that's going on. They're walking straight into a firing line where they're facing head-on Lunar Eclipse. But if there's one thing that Reinhardt's weak with, it's taking fire from multiple directions. They're going to make it smart now and move up the high ground.
Mercy being taken out, that's going to be absolutely massive. Coalescence popped immediately to try and deal with this, but it looks like Tokyo's just going to walk up through it.
Oh, the
Shredder
solo
comes
shatter.
out, May falls. Supercharger is dropped, but the damage might have been done. They land the rock, they pull out the flux, they do a bit of damage, but they've lost their Orisa. They're actually evening this up just a little bit right now. A Shifty pulling out a lot of damage at the moment. He might just be able to pull this back on his own. The res is coming out. They might be sacrificing A Shifty's life for it, however. And it looks like Fish Virginia is going to fall as well, leaving just Orisa on the point with the mortar. And that's going to be the first point going the way of Tokyo, barring this Blizzard, actually. Last second Blizzard coming out. The beat comes to try and save it, and young Vegeta is going to fall. Tracer's still here. They're still trying to go for it. They want to hold on to this point. They're doing everything that they can to stall out for the team to return, and Sigma's on the way. It looks like Mercy might be the next to touch, going onto the point, but going to lose her life, losing her ultimate as well. They've committed a lot of ultimates to this fight that they've been down, and they do not have a lot to show for it. Moira's going to fall as well. Doomfist coming onto point. Seismic Slam being knocked back, and he's going to fall as well. That's going to be the first point going over the way of Tokyo, but quite a lot invested there from Lunar.
Yeah, absolutely a lot invested between swaps and ultimates. A lot has been invested. So young Vegeta is now swapped off the Doomfist back to the Mei, but McStick swapping to the Reinhardt now. Entropy swapped to the Tracer, but now pretty much as Pulse Bomb, which is expected. I think they were just trying to pull off one of the miracle holds like they had on Temple of Anubis, and that's just a little greedy.
We see Entropy looking for the Reaper right now. I believe Reaper has Wraith, and he does. Both players are going to make it away just fine, and it looks like Lunar is rotating around to try and get the high ground drop on their enemy. They can get in close. They have the Mei wall in. Lucio and Mei kind of separate from the team, but they're not the most valuable people to separate off. Pulse Bomb gets the Reaper in exchange for Entropy's life, and it looks like it's a pretty even fight at the moment, but Tokyo falling just a hair ahead, I do believe. And it looks like Lucio is in trouble on both sides, actually, but A-Shift is going to be the first to fall. The Ryan charges in, shield up, trying to block the Mei damage, but it's not really going to matter at this point as Tokyo have secured the fight.
Again, decent stall. They're using a lot here, not necessarily ultimate-wise, but they're going in very deep, and they're committing their lives in almost a stagger formation to be able to take a fight and stall it out, which it's a bold move, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off.
Tokyo, however, coming in with Botank Mandolts, and they're dropping one. They're dropping the Graviton Blizzard. They're trying to use Coalescence on the opposing side to keep people up, but the both tanks being frozen. It's not a good day right now for the side of Lunar Eclipse, and it looks like points going to be captured by Tokyo. They're doing very well now on this attack.
Absolutely. Someone's put some fire in their bellies, and they're moving. Nano Boost Meat getting a pretty decent pick there onto Entropy, who wasn't really watching where he was going. A bit of tunnel vision, as a friend of mine would say. Ultimates pretty good for both sides. A decent amount. 3 for Lunar, 4 for Tokyo, and that's definitely something you want to watch out for because Tokyo is good ults. There it goes.
Flux Blizzard thrown out. Kind of a anti-combo in a way, but it looks like it's going to work out. Beats out the beat, and that's going to be Lunar Eclipse pulling quite a lead in this fight right now. There's just a Coalescencing Moira trying to make her way away.
Absolutely, and one thing that you want to be on the lookout for, when people use their ults, what it looks like they should be expecting to pair with it, and why they may not be. Like, that was a very peculiar ult.
Reinhardt using good Shatter, doesn't connect with anything because it's blocked by his own Mei wall, I believe? Death Blossom comes out, connects with 3, and suddenly Tokyo is once ahead in the lead. They're just going to get the stagger kills on the Orisa and the Moira real quick. The Moira trying to make it out with her life. She does have Coalescence and cannot be afforded to be killed at the moment, but Reaper, right there, the fade is good. She's going to make her way back. And it looks like they're coming back once again. They're on the Wrecking Ball. They're going to get onto the point. Coalescence is being popped, keeping a Shifty up. And beat is dropped as well. There's a lot of sustainability right now from Lunar. They're trying to make something happen, but they're going to lose Goobus first. The Doubt Blossom is going to clean it up, though. You don't need anything but Entropy.
Gorgeous. That was absolutely gorgeous. And Shifty Fish will now be slipping off that hamster and going over to the Zarya, which will now give McStick a fighting chance in this combination. There's nothing more frustrating as a Rhine player than facing off against a Rhine who has a Zarya when you don't. And switching off from the Sigma, now was definitely a good time to do that.
Both Ryan's squaring up. Both Zarya bubbles should be coming off cooldown in a moment. The Reapers are fighting on the high ground, but Entropy is taken out. And that means the Tokyo have all the opportunity they need, but the Blizzard being popped is absolutely huge. Catches both tanks and the Mei inside of it. That should be just the end of this, but Nano Boost doesn't want to end there. He dropped his Death Blossom in the back. He's looking for Valley, but he's not going to find it.
If he's going to switch, then I understand it, but you would have done more for your team by jumping off the cliff there. Like, in the real world, suicide's never the answer, but here it definitely was. There was no way that was ever going to actually do anything for the team, and it just ended up wasting an ult, which is super unfortunate because they've got a lot moving in here. And the biggest
Shatter connects with 4. Damage is coming through. It's only going to get Albert out of the way first, but 22 seconds on the clock. They cannot afford to take a while losing this fight, and that appears to be what's happening at the moment. They're making their way back, actually, but I think Lunar know that how important this is right now. They're pushing up. They're going to hold close. The Mei wall comes up to stop them, and they have 8 seconds on the clock. They're getting grouped up, but it's going to be a bit of a run to make it to point on time. 4 seconds on the clock. The Graviton Surge comes out. Reinhardt is going to touch, and Albert has made it on the point. The Blizzard comes out with the Graviton Surge. Absolutely huge combo. The beat coming out on top of it. They have so many ults invested in this fight. There's no way that they shouldn't win. And Entropy getting the kill on Albert in the backline for the return kill, but it's the only kill they have to their name so far. Lucio trying to stag his way on point, but Fish for Dinner is going to fall. And Entropy off the map. And it looks like Lunar are setting up themselves for the last engagement. Reinhardt's getting ready to charge his way on the point. He's going to need to stall, but the Mei wall is in the way. 2 meters, 1 meter, 0.18 meters, and Mixstick is on the point, fighting his way for survival, but he's outnumbered, he's outmanned. He's trying to get his way in, but he doesn't have the health bar. Shatter comes out, connects with one, but Blizzard is on point, and it's big, and this might be where you need Entropy comboing with it.
Oh!
That's going to be the round.
Lyrica Reed frozen off the point there. Beautiful combo. I was sitting there on the edge of my seat, just gripping my desk harder and harder as I saw Eclipse's ults just slowly tick up. Their grab was almost there, their Blizzard was almost there, their Death Blossom was almost there, and they were getting so close, and Mixed Stick dropped so low that I was very much on the edge. I always get anxiety from playing, but I never knew I could get secondhand anxiety from watching. So that was definitely a very peculiar experience for me.
Very clutch. Last cup, 0.18 meters, and it means that Lunar Eclipse now, to win out the series and to move on to the quarterfinals, all that they're going to have to do is to get all 3 points on King's Row.
And honestly, I thought that Fish kind of threw a little bit when he used the beat in the last fight. I know that it would have been a smart idea, but I couldn't quite see whether he had gotten it before and just used it too late, or whether he didn't have it quite yet and just barely got it and then tried to use it, which is a lot more forgivable. And they would have had a better. I know that they did win the last fight, but they would have had a much easier time winning it had they had that sound barrier to engage with.
Definitely. The sustainability from it's just such a big piece of utility on this lineup. It's sound barrier and coalescence to keep yourself alive in those situations. And it looks like Mixed Stick is joining back, so we should get rolling in just a second once again. But what do you think they're going to run now that they're on offense? I know that we've seen them run the Ryan Zarya a lot, but they did open up on the double shield last time.
Oh, they're absolutely going to run Ryan Zarya attack. There's no way that I see them not running Ryan Zarya. It may just be a little bit of my hope seeping in, but it's going to be difficult. I see them either opening on a Pharah, perhaps because it's useful, but Widowmaker and just hitscan heroes in general are very popular on this map. So maybe not. Maybe they'll take the gamble. And I could also see Widowmaker or Ashe come out from Lunar Eclipse. When it comes to Tokyo, I would probably wager to guess that they would go double barrier, but I'm not sure.
No, it looks like both sides are going to be running the Ryan Zarya here, and we see Nano Boost Me on the Reaper, comboed with the Mei. Pretty strong defensive composition, and Young Vegeta going the Doomfist alongside of a Mei. This
That's very peculiar. They might just be swapping around in spawn. It's possible.
An old combo that used to exist. There used to be the combo where you put up the Mei wall and you would Doomfist punch somebody into the Mei wall just so that you have the geometry absolutely anywhere that you want. But
That's
no,
true.
they're making swaps. Young Vegeta on the Mei, Entropy on the Ashe. They have the Mercy damage pocket, so I believe that this is what they're going to run out of this spawn point on. McStick doing a charge off the high ground right now.
He better do it.
No, it looks like he's just walking off.
No. Ryan Zarya match off here. It's going to be very, very interesting to see the way this works.
Maywall's
bit of
come
a
up from
scuffed
both
Maywall.
sides. Nano Boost is forced to retreat with Wraithform already, and it looks like Albert is in a bit of
the
trouble.
charge!
Young Vegeta to the wall, turning around that fight on its head, and Fishy being taken out as well. Lunar just going to have to reset.
A good position, though. Dynamite from Entropy landing perfectly on top of everyone, just about from Tokyo. So we saw pretty much 50% to Bob. Entropy now, like I said, is going to switch onto Pharah because no hit scans are coming out, even though they were mighty popular, which would explain why they didn't start there.
Ripper taken out, Mei taken out as well, and it looks like Lunar have a pretty hefty advantage right now. The pin lands, Albert taken out as well, and
Perez comes through.
Yep, that should be the objective, basically. They just need to walk on point and capture it formally. Curious to see if we're going to see any last-second stall try to come out, but it's doubtful.
I would think that that Tokyo would have learned the lesson from watching Lunar Eclipse use so many ultimates that... Oh, no, maybe they'll come out. They have no ultimates.
They got an Earth Shatter out at least.
Yeah.
That's something. And Mei set up on point, stalling away a little bit of time.
That's true.
Having, of course, so important in this matchup right now. And it looks like Zarya and McCree are on their way to getting staggered. But
Zarya definitely, McCree maybe not.
yeah,
They're
looks like
gonna go for it.
a little bit poor.
Oh!
But McCree is going to end up being staggered. And the support's trying to make their way out, but both of them falling fairly low. More in a little bit of danger at the moment, but they're both going to make it back just fine. Meanwhile, we have someone on point. Who's that over there on point?
It's horror.
We have Amora on point. So Lunar are down a little bit of healing at the moment, and they are holding awfully close for that. They seem to realize this. They're backing up a few inches. They're going to fall back to the next corner. Hopefully they fall back to the one following that, but the opposing team has the Lucio and they don't, meaning that Tokyo can close the distance right now. Maywall comes in. The charge is good, however. Mixtake taking out both Reinhardt's down. Blizzard with Graviton Surge and the Raga Barrage over the top just for the finishing blow, and that should be the fight going the way of Lunar.
I would hope that Entropy would switch off after using that because it definitely seemed very unnecessary to use the barrage into the Blizzard. Who's on point? Lucio. Lucio stalling off that point. A lot of ultimates now on the side of Tokyo. If they wanted to stall this, they actually have a chance of bringing this in and winning it out.
Yeah, they have the Earthshatter, High Noon.
May's gonna have to wall them off.
Lyric is falling dangerously low at the moment. Nobody's healing them up. The charge comes through. It lands on the Reinhardt. Albert is low, but Maywall trapped Mixed Stick into a corner. The Shatter comes through. It lands on one, I believe, a Mixed Stick takes for with his life. And the counter Shatter comes in. Graviton Surge catches people. And Entropy getting damage in the meantime. Not a lot of these ultimates are going to matter if you just let Entropy sit above your team and do a whole bunch of damage. They're now focusing him down. Horror on the ground trying to cap the point with Fish, but it looks like Lunar are pulling ahead, and it's at 0.48 meters. They let it slide just a little bit of a distance to get their regroup in, and they have the numbers now to do this. Coalescence comes out. McCree is spamming away into the shield, and the Blizzard comes in. Mixed Stick getting caught out. He's not going to make it away, and it looks like that's going to be the fight going this side of Tokyo. A little bit of a stagger as 4 people here are going to try and make their way away, and they don't have Lucio speed boost to do it.
Entropy now has the barrage, but I don't know. A lot of ultimates are coming in for Lunar Eclipse. The only thing that they don't have is Shatter, and that's an ultimate that will build pretty quickly. Versus maybe a Beat Drop and probably a High Noon from Nano Boost. So that's probably going to be able to get rid of the Farmer seat. Not really useful in a lot of other circumstances. Farmer is very weak against Nano Boost.
Maywall comes in. Reinhardt separated. We see Mixstick pushing in, trying to take out his counterpart, but his counterpart is sustaining. And meanwhile, Mixstick actually falls, going a little bit too aggressive. And the Blizzard comes in. It's going to connect with 4 in the end. Rocket Barrage over the top, doing the damage, but the Sound Barrier blocks some of it, meaning that the fight isn't quite over yet. Entropy has fallen, Graviton Surge comes out, and Reinhardt is going to start swinging Mixstick, doing damage, built up his Shatter. He has the opportunity now.
Oh, there we go.
And
Doing it again.
Could be it. Lucio and Zarya are on the point, but they're outnumbered, and there's no hope of them doing anything more than staggering at this point. That's going to be second point going the way of Lunar.
Absolutely. Mixstick cleaning up quite a bit there. A lot of ultimates used. They ended up closing the deal, but now got to take it 70 meters almost all the way. 71 meters, I believe, is how far this is.
Very close. Reinhardt moving up. Albrecht coming in close. He has Shatter. The opposing Reinhardt doesn't notice, and he gets shattered up with the Graviton Surge used to catch people as well. Both tank ults committed, but that's going to be the fight done, going the way of Tokyo.
How did you miss that charge? That's,
he was like a whole meter away. I think it was just. I think he just got sidestepped. Honestly, like the amount of time for charging it up.
Yeah.
No ability to turn yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. You think it's hard to aim a gun? Try aiming your whole body.
Reinhardt walled off with the Mei. Charge comes through, but it's blocked by Zarya Bubble. Counter charge doesn't connect with anything, but Albert is going to fall. The main tank being down is absolutely devastating. Coalescence keeping everybody up. High Noon committed, but it's partially walled off at the moment. Nobody really peeking this, and Gumby's eking out of the fight. Reinhardt's going to charge in, and it looks like he didn't overcommit there, and Tokyo just needs to reset, but this has taken so long that they've almost done it. They're only down the Mei at the moment. Reinhardt's shield is ready. They're pushing up. They got the sustain. The Mei wall comes in. They're trying to burn down Albrecht, and then Blizzard
they
comes
canceled
out.
The Shatter.
The main tank caught in the Blizzard. Coalescence being committed, but immediately dies to Entropy. And that means that it should be the map going the way of Lunar. There's a couple of stall attempts coming out. The Blizzard comes out. It's not going to catch anything, however. Mixstick getting picks. Graviton Surge catches up Relink inside of his own team's Blizzard, which doesn't do anything, of course. But Bob taking out Albert as well. And it looks like that is all she wrote. Tracer's making way out of point, but it's just not going to be enough. Doomfist might make it, but that's going to be the series going the way of Lunar. 3-0, absolutely dominant performance.
Absolutely incredible performance there from Lunar.
Play of the game here, going to Entropy with, I believe, a Death Blossom after a
quad.
B? Yeah.
It's a quad Death Blossom.
Didn't have it at the start, turns out, but yeah. It was a great find from him. Ended this offense in its trap. Septuple kill, actually. 4 of them in the Death Blossom, 1 before, and 1 kill taken by the Reinhardt. But other than that, that was a clean team wipe on one ultimate there.
Definitely very, very well done. And a lot of time Reapers are pretty easily countered nowadays. It used to be a team fight win no matter what. But like we said, very dominant performance from Lunar Eclipse, and we want all of you to tell Chad who you think your MVP, most valuable player is of this match. So Heathen, I'm going to start with you. Who do you think the MVP was this match?
I might have to give it to Entropy. Like, I know it's a little cliche to give it to DPS, but he showed up. He had a lot of great picks. He did a lot of damage on the Ashe for a bit, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, yeah, he was the Ashe and the Widowmaker.
Yeah, built up that Bob, had a good performance, good show. Probably my play of the game.
I'm going to have to give it to Mixstick, simply because him and Entropy are for me. So if you're giving it to Entropy, then I'm going to give it to him. He did a fantastic job. Very, very dominant performance on Reinhardt, and very little margin of error except for that one last charge.
Yeah, there were a couple of definitely good performance from him, though.
Absolutely.
And with that, we are coming to the end of things for tonight. I hope you enjoyed watching. We have, from the result of tonight, Lunar Eclipse is going on to the quarterfinals, and Tokyo Califers are unfortunately out of the... Oh, are they? Is there a... Yeah, Lunar Eclipse is facing Wisdom Overwatch, while Tokyo Califers are unfortunately out of the playoffs. That was the end of their season. They needed to win that match. But we've had First Anatomy producing for us tonight. Big round of applause for him. And I've been Heathen. Joining me tonight has been Platinum Thistle. And for everybody who has stuck around to the very end of tonight, please make sure that you have a good rest of your night.